The old flared nostrils. Look left, look right.
It's like 93 all over again, John.
We're going to have the spectacular entrance. Here we go. Yeah, it's all very familiar. And he can fight a bit as well. I might say, incidentally, talking about Ronnie Davis being in good nick, Chris Senior looks pretty well as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, it looks like he can still get the gloves on himself, John.
Great atmosphere. Let's see what he can deliver tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next contest this evening, sponsored by Raynham Steel, is 8 3-minute rounds in the middleweight division. Firstly, weighing in 11 stone, 10 pounds, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black and white shorts, hailing from Huddersfield, with a record of 8 wins, 5 losses, 3 draws, with 4 KOs to his name. Please welcome Alistair Warren. And across the ring in the blue corner, with an unbeaten record of 12 wins, with 7 KOs to his name. Wearing the blue shorts and also weighing in 11 stone, 10 pounds. He hails from Brighton. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting and introducing Chris Eubank Jr. Your referee in charge of the action is Bob Williams of Watford, who will now give his final instructions to both boxers.
Okay, lads, obey my commands. In the event of a knockdown, the fighter standing will go to the furthest neutral corner and stay there. Defend yourselves at all times. Touch gloves, boys.
Ladies and gentlemen, 8 3-minute rounds.
Warren went the distance with the talented John Ryder a couple of years ago. He's suffered a couple of stoppage losses of late, and also had a couple of technical draws when he was badly cut by Craig McEwen and by Luke Blackledge. Eubank Jr. will be looking for something spectacular here. Could be an inside the distance victory. Good reflexes, Eubank. If he's got as good a chin as his dad had, then he certainly can go an awful long way in this sport.
Yeah, he's done nothing wrong so far in his career. He's already thrown his best punch, his danger punch, our right uppercut, and that's the one that finished that Frankie Borg, who's a good boxer from Wales, in dramatic fashion. Really whips it in, turns the body on the shot.
Knockout victories in his last 2 fights, Eubank. Against Alistair Ribchev, stopped him in the third, first time he'd been stopped, and also Frankie Borg. It was an uppercut which accounted for him, the one you're talking about, in the 6th round.
Yeah, he's looked very impressive at late. As Eubank Jr. Good jab from him there. So Warren doing the right sort of thing, just trying to put pressure on him, not give Eubank room to work.
Nice left hand from Warren. Crowd wanting to see a competitive fight, and they'd surely like to see him carry this to Eubank and give it a real go. What was it Eubank Senior said his lad was going to do? He's going to shred him. Well, he's had to absorb a couple of solid left hands, and the Warren corner getting a little bit excited about what Bert's been producing in the first.
Oh, good uppercut there from Eubank. Well, to be honest, he's the only one throwing punches at the moment. You know, when Eubank lets his hands go, you know, when he lands, the quality's there. You can see the power. He carries all the power. But for me at the moment, Alistair Warren is the one throwing all the shots.
He's trying to rough Eubank up in this opening round. Covering up well, Warren. Those didn't land scoring shots, taking on gloves and arms.
know Eubank carries power. I know he likes to set his work up, but needs to be a little bit busier.
Taking a few headshots in this opening round. And Warren not finding him hard to get to. A few oohs and ahs from the Warren corner. That's a good quality body shot from Eubank.
And again, and again.
Oh, there's the power. Big headshot, and Warren was stunned by that right hand. Eubank's going looking for him. Oh, old-fashioned look, followed by the strut, and slowly but surely back to the corner. He's loving it. I wonder what his mum thinks.
I think she must be used to it by now, John.
Try and get the jam off, don't give him too much room, we're doing all right. Just box exactly how you're boxing, okay, mate? You're opening them up nice, okay? Bring them shots up inside, they're lovely, you can't hold with them. And start working out, keep on that body.
Closing stage, as we saw glimpses of what Eubank can do. Big body shots, gloves came down, and two solid headshots, and that right hand to the head. I just got the impression that Warren just felt he felt that one, didn't he? Wanted to hold on.
Yeah, he was under a lot of pressure there in that last 30 seconds. Just goes to show that when Chris Eubank Jr. does want to work, he's impressive, isn't he? He's a little bit busier.
Well, nobody could ever accuse his dad of naturally wanting to fight 3 minutes a round.
Oh, lovely work there again from Eubank.
That's a nice counter from Warren. And a nod from Eubank to acknowledge the fact that Warren did catch him there.
Well, it's the right tactics, isn't it, from Warren? Trying to push Eubank back, but keep busy. You have to keep throwing punches. You have to exploit Eubank's economical approach to boxing, and Warren's doing that with full effect.
Eubank has not been rushed in his progression so far. Eliminators against Nick Blackwell never came to fruition, and supposedly offered and turned down big money to fight Billy Joe Saunders. I just wonder, the fact that he's signed now and fighting here on Box Nation, quite clearly that is a fight which somewhere down the line could be a real big battle, Billy Joe and Chris Eubank Jr. I wonder.
Nice little uppercut there from Warren.
Got to get through this first, of course.
Yeah, but for the most part of that little exchange, Warren missing. Oh, nice left hook for the body there. Proper digs that in, doesn't he? Eubank Jr.
I like the way he's going through the gears.
Just stunned Warren there, I think, as well, with some of those headshots. That's the difference. He's given away that round. He's given way too much that round, and then combinations like that bring him right back into the fight.
Making it competitive, though, Warren.
I think for the most part of the round, he's holding his own, isn't he?
Oh, he didn't want to be taking that one or that. Big lad, Warren. Stands 6 foot, or maybe just a fraction more. And he knows that this is his great opportunity.
Tucking up nice there, Warren. Trying to block that right hand to the ribs from Eubank.
Yeah, decent round though, Warren.
He did have a decent round, but you'd have to say all the quality shots landed were from Eubank.
How have you scored the two we've seen so far?
Well, the last one for me was a Eubank round. The first one, I think, majority was Warren's work, but that last little flurry for Eubank evened it up on my book.
Chris Sanagar in that corner as well. It's the recent record of Eubank Jr. Chris Sanagar was a handful and he was a fighter.
Good fighter, and he's been a real credit to the sport, hasn't he?
Okay, mate. Winging away at the body and bring him up through the middle.
Has his own health issues, Chris. Suffered with cancer, and great to see him back here and looking so fit now.
Right the right hand through the middle. He's expecting up to the time. Straight shots out.
Ronnie Davis. I always thought when he was training Chris's dad, I thought some of the best punches Chris took were in the corner from Ronnie. If you got the impression he wasn't listening, oh my goodness.
Nice little lead uppercut there from Eubank Jr.
That's good from Warren. Oh, good left hand from Eubank. Heard that one really thud home.
Warren having success with the uppercuts, they just don't have the same effect as when Eubank lets his uppercuts go.
Big body shots again.
Oh, it's gutsy is this for Alistair Warren.
Well, he's got to treat this as his world title fight, hasn't he? This is his great opportunity.
And he is, and I think he's doing tremendously well. His tactics are spot on. He can maybe try and get to the side of Eubank sometimes.
He's not really put a dent in Eubank yet, though.
No, and just having to take some heavy shots there to the head. But he fights back, doesn't he? Every time he gets hurt, every time you think that he might maybe wilt, he comes back with his own little flurry of punches, keep him in the fight.
Just caught a little bit off balance there, Eubank. Respect what Ronnie Davis says, and I kind of got to say that praise him to the hilt. I'm not convinced he's quite as heavy-handed as his dad was.
No, I don't think he is at all. I think he's silkier than his dad, skill-wise.
Yeah, he's got
fluency in his
He's
work.
got a great variety, and he seems to be able to have. Maybe he's got a better stamina. I'm not sure. It's good work again from Warren.
It's great work from Warren off the ropes. You have to take a few heavy
Oh,
shots.
look at that body shot though, and that almost doubled him up, and it's given the opportunity. The uppercut accounted for him, but it was the body shot which opened him up, almost doubled him up. In came the right uppercut, and down goes Warren. Oh, we saw a terrific variety of punch there. Now, how good a finisher is Eubank going to be here? Going for a little walk. Is he going to look to take him out right here and now in the third round? Or will he just consider that the work is done for this round and maybe carry it on to the next? Let's see. The bravery of Warren's going to be called to count here. Huge body shots, big left hook, head-hunting Eubank, and can't find the shot he needs.
He missed with everything on the ropes there, Eubank.
Just got a little bit ragged, a little bit desperate maybe to find the knockout punch, but those body shots, I tell you what, they are what have caused Warren to unravel. And look at the way in which he started to get busted up as well. Good round for Eubank.
He was. He came up with a little bit more intent. He's still slightly lazy. Come up with a little intent, but when he lets his hands go, he's very, very impressive.
Really hell of a body shot that was, Barry, which started it.
And then the second of them was the uppercut one, and the body shot. Oh, that horrible shot.
There's the uppercut. Well, I think, are they going to allow him to continue? Chris Aston's having a good look. And is it all over? I think it is. I think the fight is all over. Ronnie Davis walks across, and the corner have pulled him out. That's it. End of the third round. He's been retired. And Chris Eubank Jr., his winning run continues. Didn't do too much wrong tonight, 13 out of 13. Warren was busted up by that blistering attack in the third round. He's a chip off the old block.
He is. Firstly, you have to say congratulations to Alistair Warren. You know, he lost. He came out with loads of credit in that fight. He really pushed Eubank, I think. You know, he had the right sort of tactics, really tried his hardest and was in the fight. Chris Eubank Jr. a little bit lazy because he can, I think, and that's why.
It was those two body shots, that was what did it, Barry.
Took the fight right out of him, and then that uppercut to finish it off as well. When he lets his hands go, he's impressive. He could do it earlier. I think he could have maybe got rid of Warren earlier on. It rolls on. He's still a talent.
How far does he go? Well, that's going to be the question. But he's done all that's been asked of him thus far. He's got the posturing, he's got the confidence, and as you see there, he's got at least a fair share of his father's ability. The victory run goes on. Chris Senior looks a very happy and proud dad, and here's confirmation of the victory for Chris Eubank Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of round 3, Alistair Warren's corner has retired him. The winner in the blue corner from Brighton, Chris Eubank Jr.
24 years old, he's got time on his side. Simply the best. Tina Turner blares out. Is he going to be simply the best? Time will tell. Didn't do too much wrong tonight.
Indeed it will, John. Great to hear the Tina Turner, simply the best, bouncing out again. Totally expressionless, Chris Eubank Jr. almost throughout that fight. But a chip, dad and son with Bunsey.
Yes, thanks very much indeed, Jim. I'm taking the role you took many, many years, talking to Chris Senior. I should be talking to Chris Jr. and then Chris Senior. Chris, first of all, how would you rate that performance?
I came here to Box Nation to, I didn't come here to make waves. I came here to cause a hurricane, and that's just the beginning.
You seem to be enjoying yourself, and it just seemed to be like you wanted more rounds. You just, as it went on, I could just see you thinking. Were you enjoying yourself?
That's what it's all about at this stage of my career. This is my 13th fight. I've still got a lot to learn, and I can't go in rushing these guys. If I wanted to, I could have gone in their first round, all guns blazing, and taken them out. I wanted to feel his power. I wanted to get hit a little bit. I wanted to box and get the experience of fighting my first time in York Hall. This is a legendary place, and it was a big deal for me to perform here. So I'm happy. Everything came to fruition.
You do know that your father's 13th fight was at York Hall, and you do know that on that particular night, he weighed 164 pounds, exactly like you. Did you do that intentionally?
This is the next generation, and it's history repeating itself. And just like him, I'm going to become a world champion middleweight.
Chris, you've watched from ringside. You seem to live most of the fight, just nice and calm. How would you rate that performance this evening?
Well, again, it's always a 10. He does the job. The idea is to win, and he's doing just that. He's exciting, he's stoic, and he can take anyone in Europe. And in his own time, he will. But you should ask him more questions because he has a bit more to say. He finds this fun. I found it hard work in my day. He finds it fun.
Well, we found it sometimes hard work talking to you, but it was always a pleasure once it was over. And I was going to ask you another question and him another question. Just kind of keep it nice and relaxed. Because let me ask you this, okay? Do you and I'm going to ask the pair of you, do you two have a debriefing? Like tonight or tomorrow, will you sit down and watch the fight and go through it? I'll come to you first, Chris, and then back to Chris Jr.
Absolutely. This is a craft, and the only way you learn is by study. Of course, you learn by watching every fight back. When it comes to the boxing, I'm not the full gun. I've got the bullets I do got, they're very big and they're very shiny. And once I got the full rounds, I'm going to be taking out these top-level fighters just like I took this guy out.
Now, I agree with what your dad said. I think you're going towards British, you're going towards European, and then we'll see after that. But at what pace do you think the Chris Eubank Jr. ship should be sailing into those bigger fights?
When I'm ready. I could take these guys out now, but every professional deserves his apprenticeship, and this is mine. It's only 13 fights. I'm going to have a few more. Build my way up to 10 rounds and then up to 12 rounds where I can start taking out these guys for titles.
Now, are you the type of guy, Chris, that when you see fighters, say, you know, seasoned guys, do you then sit down with your father and say, that's a good guy, he can give us 8 rounds, he can give us 10 rounds, and that's what we need?
When I see a seasoned guy in my weight division, I say, how can I get a sparring session with him? I say, I want to go there to his training camp and spar with him and learn from him. You know, I'm still a novice in the game. I'm still learning, and you know, we're on a strong road here, and it's gonna get bigger and better from here in Box Nation.
You're moving a lot faster than your father moved, fight-wise. I think it took you about 3 or 4 years to get to this stage. It's taken him less. When you look back on yourself, Chris, in your 13th fight, it was against Frankie Morrow. You know, a really tough guy. You hit him for 8 rounds. He stood up for 8 rounds. Do you wish you could find guys like that for Chris, or is he a different type of fighter to the elder?
No. Well, he's old school. He's been brought up on the old school rules. Hard sparring, and we'll go where we have to find it, which is why he's off to Vegas in a few months. We'll travel anywhere to find good sparring. I would like to find someone to be able to actually put him under pressure, and they're not around, and it actually tells you where his marketplace is for the future. So talk is cheap, as we all know. I'm sorry to actually predict, but it is cheap. And action speaks louder than words, and we'll see that in the not too distant future.
Chris, I've got to ask you this: were you a bit disappointed Billy Joe Saunders didn't show up tonight?
Billy Joe Saunders is no different to any other fighter out there. On Twitter, on Facebook, these guys are calling me out every day. They're all going to get it soon enough, trust me.
Thanks very much indeed, Chris Senior, Chris Junior, with the Eubank. Fun with the Eubanks. That sounds very familiar, doesn't it? Jim. Back to you, Jim boy.
Well, it is so good to have the Eubanks, father and son, right here on Box Nation. The first glimpse of great entertainment. Let's hope there are many more fights to come. It was quite interesting. I mean, they do things slightly differently, don't they? I don't think I've heard too many fighters in post-match or post-fight interviews saying, well, I actually wanted to get hit. I wanted to feel what it was like.
Yeah, it was a bit
interesting
of a
approach.